Hello, welcome to the very first episode of Button Smash. This is a new gaming podcast full of games and casting. Yes. My name's Key, and I'm here, and with me is... Say your name.
I am Matto.
There we go.
I am also here. Hello.
This is the Matto. Basically we wanted to run a podcast alongside of the YouTube channel because we don't always get to discuss as much as I'd like during a gameplay thing, because you tend to either be talking about the game you're playing or something totally unrelated whatsoever, and I figured this would be a really interesting format.
Mainly unrelated.
Mainly unrelated. Entirely. I'm surprised there's even a game half the time, to be honest. So, to start off, Matto, what you playing?
What am I playing? Currently I'm playing Overwatch, because that's in beta at the moment, which has been extended for one more day until tomorrow, which will date this podcast.
That'll be May 10th.
By the time you hear this, you can't play it.
You can't play it anymore. You have to cry like the rest of us.
Worth the wait.
Yeah, definitely.
But more on that later.
Much.
Link in the description, etc. Probably not, actually.
You're going to ask me what I'm playing?
I wasn't that interested.
Oh, I'm going to tell you anyway.
What are you playing, Key?
I'm also playing Overwatch, funnily enough. What a coinky-dink.
Wow, I hadn't seen you on there.
A lot. Tracer's Bay. But yeah, I've played a lot of Overwatch. We still play Smite and stuff kind of every now and again, Smite. But we have hit Overwatch pretty hardcore to make sure we can get the gameplay out in time before the beta closes. So in lieu of that, we have the news! And I put an intro thing in. News! News!
This is the news. Now listen to me.
Sounds very trustworthy. Yeah,
I am trustworthy. You can trust me.
So the first item on our news schedule is one that I find really interesting. I should say from the get-go, gaming news is so massive every day.
Oh, it's huge.
Because there's just so many platforms and games and ways that you can look at stuff. We just pick shit that I think's interesting. The first thing I think is really interesting is during esports. So if anyone plays League of Legends, then the LCS is the kind of European and NA esports of League. It's the full 5v5 map version. And they have competitive teams and it's all professional. You basically get treated the exact same as an athlete would. And Riot had to do a ruling against Team Impulse. Because basically their management weren't paying them, which is a bit dick.
That's, not great.
And they didn't have any contracts, and so they've lost their LCS spot, which is super dick on the players because they've worked really hard, but they don't have anything to fall back on because they've got no contracts whatsoever.
Especially since the players haven't been implicated in any wrongdoing.
No, not at all. It's entirely management. You can anytime Riot does a ruling against teams, they're quite public about it. They'll be like, okay, here's basically a report about how we feel, and the report for Team Impulse, they always give a TLDR version, which was basically just, we've tried to intervene and we've determined that they don't meet standards via not giving contracts and not paying their players. So they are being banned from League as a professional organisation, and they will not be allowed to continue to participate in Riot-sanctioned leagues.
Is that ever now? I'm guessing.
Ever.
That sucks.
I don't know if someone bought the thing entirely and then entirely changed the team, whether they'd be up for review or something, but it's basically the esports equivalent of someone going to a football club and being like, actually, you're being a bit dick. No, you can't be a thing anymore.
Yeah, although I don't know how many times that's happened.
It's not happened.
Not happened a lot.
Ever. Probably should.
We're
not going to go into that. We don't do sports ball. But yeah, I thought that was super interesting whilst still being arse for those poor players who do put themselves out quite a lot to play a game for a living. But it's good to see kind of the evolution of esports and what it actually means. Like, you can't dick around anymore. You can't just throw a bunch of 18-year-olds hoping to become internet famous at a thing and not treat them with respect that professionals deserve.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with that.
I think it's easy to forget that esports as a thing is still pretty new. You know, there's going to be this kind of stuff going on because there's very few precedents to it. It's a whole new ball game, if we're going to use sports terminology.
Whole new sports ball.
Whole new sports ball. But yeah, it's not something that's been around long enough to have all of these, well, I'd say teething problems. That kind of makes it sound quite small, but...
No, it'll get there.
Yeah, it will. Eventually.
The next item on our news list is Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1.
And you know a lot more about this than I do.
I know a bit. Because I'm a boy, I should know a lot more about first-person shooters. Yeah. But yeah, it was going to be only about Battlefield 1, because the trailer went up 2 days ago now, or yesterday.
When did I stream?
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it went up 2 days ago. Quite exciting. We'd already had Infinite Warfare, the trailer for that, which I didn't like. A lot of people didn't.
It didn't even hit my radar.
No.
Usually when there's a new COD, then at least my Twitter feed is like, meh! And I was just like, oh, there's a thing out. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got... It's hard to talk about Battlefield without talking about Call of Duty because they're going hand in hand. We've got the release dates for them. Battlefield 1 is coming out on the 21st of October, and Infinite Warfare is coming out straight after on the 4th of November.
Do you remember when games used to announce and then actually come out within a year of an announcement?
That is within a year.
I know. I found it unusual.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose you're right, yeah.
I just remember the Forever Watch Dogs.
That was like 5 years?
I don't know.
From announced to... It was a long
it
time.
hit 2 E3s. I mean, I think there's a problem if you hit 2 E3s.
Yeah, it's not great.
Sorry, carry on.
No, you could do... That's fine.
Captain Segway.
But yeah, Infinite Warfare. I didn't like the trailer. Lots of people didn't, because it is in fact the most disliked video game trailer on YouTube currently, and one of the top 10 disliked YouTube videos of all time. More disliked even than the new Ghostbusters movie.
Wow.
Which is pretty hard going because that's pretty disliked by a hell of a lot of people. So yeah, it's got like, I don't know, I think was it over 1 million dislikes? But yeah, a lot of people don't like it, and there's a lot of talk of it being, well...
Sorry.
Excuse you.
It's the Battlefield. Alright, I'm good.
I wouldn't normally talk about this. But
sorry, I'm coughing up my ovaries.
Nice. Ew. But yeah, so Infinite Warfare, there's a lot of talk of it being people are getting tired of sci-fi shooters now, because we had the previous Call of Duty, which was Call of Duty whatever that was.
Well, it started to creep towards Halo.
It started to creep towards Halo.
And it's like we've had 5 Halos.
But also the last Call of Duty that came out had wall running and lots of aspects that we just had from Titanfall. So again, it's like another franchise that has done the same thing, and it looks as though we're doing the same thing again, but this time there's more space and David Bowie cover, which again I didn't like, but
don't use the Bowie.
Don't use
just
Bowie.
To get more views, guys.
Stop
like
it.
No.
Bad.
I mean, if it's appropriate music, fine, but I really hope that they were planning to use that before he died, otherwise I'd be pissed.
Maybe not. The song is a lot older than... It predates his death, so...
Well, yeah.
No, I mean that cover version.
Oh, okay.
They didn't do a cover specifically for the trailer, so that's it. But that said, dislike trailer, the second most disliked gaming trailer is actually for another Black Ops game, for another Call of Duty game, Black Ops 2. And that did really well. So
yeah.
It could do really well. But the big surprise, everyone is going a bit mental for Battlefield 1. I've in fact got in my notes in big capital letters, Zeppelins!
Yeah, everyone
Because
fucking loves Zeppelins.
I love
That is
Zeppelins.
what we have learned.
And you look at the trailer, and I looked at the trailer and thought, I don't know how historically accurate that'll be. But
And we looked it up and we're like, oh,
there's a lot of stuff in there, in the trailer, that was actually present in World War One.
possibly not in the quantity it is
Probably
present
not,
in
no.
the trailer, but
Who knows?
there was some things you're like, oh,
Historians know.
that's bullshit. There's no way that this thing was real. And
No.
then good old Google.
Good old Google. Thank you, Google.
Thanks, Google.
And Wikipedia that possibly has been changed to help fit with.
They've just
trailer.
paid someone to change
Just
the
change all of
Wikipedia.
that, so it looks
Yeah,
historically
just no,
accurate.
we're historically accurate. Just change history.
But yeah, Battlefield 1, very excited for that actually. More excited than I thought I would be. Just because of Zeppelins. There will apparently be horse combat.
Horse Zeppelins!
I don't know about horse Zeppelins, but...
Damn it!
Or big Zeppelins in the shape of a horse.
No! Horse Zeppelins. Like, it's like having a Pegasus but on a budget.
So, an inflatable horse.
No. An inflatable attached to a horse.
Right.
Can you imagine the jousting?
No, it'd be rubbish. You just have to pop the balloon. And then they would fall, and that would be terrible. But we don't know much about either game, really. Neither of them have mentioned story a hell of a lot. Call of Duty more so. We've got a full rundown. Basically, it's in the future.
The only time that they really focused on their story from a trailer aspect was when they were like, we have a dog!
Yeah.
Look at dog.
Look at dog. Dog is lovely.
Dog is lovely. You buy dog. And everyone was like, yes, I buy dog. Yes.
But Battlefield 1, I don't think we really need to know the story because that's history. We know what's
not
going
gonna
to
lie,
happen
when I first read the name, I was like, really?
But it makes sense.
It does make sense. I'll give them that.
Because I don't think we've had a game that's just called Battlefield. Because we had...
Haven't they?
Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 1943, Battlefield 2142...
Are we not going back to the same... Oh no, wait, 43, that's World War II.
That's World War Two. World War One was a small skirmish between 19... So, now you know.
I want to say 14 and 20.
No,
That's wrong though.
That's...
I dropped
1
history when I
second.
was 14. So
1 second.
don't Google it.
Okay.
I can do it on my phone, it's easier.
Fair enough. You find out that. So
Keep talking.
and we'll edit.
We'll
to
find...
make us not look like idiots.
I don't know, I mean, Adam and Gary don't do it, so...
Fair enough. Oh, ouch. Sick burn. Pow. Take that, Adam and Gary. Ugh.
I love Adam and Gary.
Who are Adam and Gary?
They
Anyway.
do they do the Not So Weekly Rapture on the Lighthouse.
Link in the description. Maybe.
I love that you're saying link in the description and you have no idea if I'm going to have a description underneath the upload.
No clue. I think that's going to be my catchphrase. Link in the... I think if we ever have merch, that'll be on my t-shirt. Link in the
Like
description.
Gary's is, I'll put it in the show notes. And you're like, you never will, Gary.
Never will. There are show notes?
Shh.
Okay.
14 to 18.
14 to 18, yeah.
There we
That's
go.
exactly what I said. Good job, me.
Good job, you.
What else do we know? We don't know much about the story in Battlefield 1. There is apparently going to be I said horses.
You said horses
I
and
said
zeppelins.
Horses, zeppelins.
Horse zeppelins.
No horse zeppelins. There will be more medieval type weapons like cavalry and clubs because apparently that was used at the beginning of World War One.
To be fair, we weren't
Unbelievably.
exactly prepared.
No, a lot of the weapons in World War One were developed for World War One. Like,
Like,
guys,
oh,
we need a thing to fire shit at them.
they're very far away.
They're very far away.
Much
Do
further
things.
away than we've ever had to fire things.
Battlefield 1 is going to have a persistent squad system, which means that you can get into a squad of 4 people and remain with them for the remainder of your session. Which I thought was not exactly revolutionary, but I could be completely
I guess
wrong.
it's like team building
Maybe.
without being friends with them.
But I can think of a lot of games that already do that. And I don't see it particularly as an advertising point, but there we go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's new for consoles. I'm not a console guy.
I don't think it is.
Uh,
It's probably new for big console.
Maybe.
Some little dude on a console will have done it, and then some bigwig would have gone like, "Oh,
maybe.
that looks good."
What else we got? We've got a special edition for Battlefield 1. $219.99 so far. There's no UK release price, but it'll probably be just over 200. And you get a figure, a cloth poster.
Oh, a cloth poster.
Because you wouldn't have had vinyl back in World War One. Deck of cards.
Okay. To amuse you in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And game, of course.
And game.
Yeah, there's probably a few more bits in there.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like $200 and something dollars worth.
I think the figure
Have they just not announced that much yet?
No, I think the figure is the main bulk of it.
Is it going to be massive?
Not sure.
Probs.
Not sure. Probably. It'll probably be
well, the one for... Not that they are the same company at all. But the one for Halo ODST was huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one by the look of it. It looks really detailed.
That's cool.
So
I like models. Models are nice.
So that'll be good. Going back to Infinite Warfare, that is going to have a hub world. So you can go and do secondary quests from the...
Like Destiny?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, not like other future games at all.
Like Destiny?
Like Destiny.
Uh-huh.
And the big thing for Infinite Warfare is it's going to come with Modern Warfare Remastered. But again, this has become a bit of a sticking point because it's not going to be sold separately at all. Apparently.
So they're remastering Modern Warfare 1?
Modern Warfare 1, which is 10 years old now. Which...
Oh, God, is it?
Yeah, surprised that with me.
So that's going to be with the new game, but you can't you can't buy it.
Can't buy it separately. Not yet. They've said you can't. And at the moment...
That would seem like a stupid amount of money. Like, once you've sold the copies of the new game that I've already forgotten the name of.
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, God, that's forgettable. Yeah, once you've sold the copies of that people are buying to get hold of a remastered Modern Warfare 1, then they will sell a remastered Modern Warfare 1.
Maybe, but by that
time... They're evil, yes they will.
But again, it looks like it's a way to get that money to keep the price of a new released game up.
Oh.
By adding added value to it. By saying, well, we want to charge you $70 or...
This thing.
For this on release, but you're also getting this, which chances are, if you're a hardcore Call of Duty player, you've already got it. I had it, and I don't even like that kind of game.
But yeah. Anyway, that's enough about Shooty McPew-Pew.
Shooty McPew-Pew.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Link in the description.
It sounds like I hate shooters. I really don't.
Well, we'll get on to that soon, won't we?
Yeah, I just get real bored of Call of Duty. The next item on our news thing, or what I would like to call our Nintendo news.
Newstendo?
Nintendo? No, I can't say it again. Anyway, it's about Nintendo.
Good job.
I really like Nintendo, as some of you, if you know Lighthouse, will know. The Nintendo news is that Miitomo, their app on pretty much all smart devices, I think, has reached over 10 million users.
Good job.
Which is really cool.
Especially since it's only been out for 2 months.
Yeah, it's really not been out that long. And basically Miitomo is you make a little me of yourself and you dress it up and you play a little like pachinko style game and you talk to your friends and you answer questions. And it quickly went from, like, what type of bread do you like? To, what do you feel is my most deep secret? And, like, it's like suddenly you're on a therapist couch, like, fucking hell, Miitomo. Like, jeez.
This is getting deep, Miitomo.
Yeah, it's getting hella deep. I'm thinking about aspects of my personality I didn't know were there.
I've seen answers like, there was a question which was something like, what's the deepest thing you think about? And one of the answers I got on my friends list was death all the time.
That's when you're texting them like, are you okay?
Are you okay, dude?
Because your me was a bit down and they didn't look too hot.
Well, their me is fine. It's just, they're more like messengers.
Yeah, it's like the me's just pop up like a little, like the paperclip. Did you know that so-and-so is having suicidal tendencies?
It's like your own personal Metatron. Go and look it up.
But then alternatively, I have friends that are like... The question is, what is your favourite 5-letter word? And they just say dildo.
Yeah, it is 5 letters.
Yeah. I did look at it like, oh yeah. Yeah, good job.
Look at dildo.
Yeah, I did have a look at dildo, yeah.
Okay, good. Nice.
But because of Miitomo's success, Nintendo are now considering the app market much more than they were. So they're going to announce... Well, they have announced that they're going to do it. We just don't know into what context. A Fire Emblem and a Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Sounds like that Fire Emblem will kind of be its own little standalone game thing.
Yeah, I've heard it's going to be like a little simple version.
Yeah, it's kind of just to ease people into like the strat RPG style game that it is. And then Animal Crossing is going to be like a tie-in to the existing games. So it's one of those enhance your experience apps.
Yes.
So
pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's just a case of you can talk to your villagers at the same time, or like it would be really interesting considering I used to set alarms for Animal Crossing because a character would be coming to my house.
Alrighty.
So, well, I didn't want Goldie to get upset with me and move away. This is why I look crazy whenever I talk about Nintendo.
Yeah. It's everything I ever wanted.
Everything I ever wanted. It's perfect.
Link in the description.
But yeah, I really like the idea of Nintendo branching out a bit more, and I'm always happy when I hear about Nintendo success anyway.
It's a bit different as well, because it's almost like Miitomo was a test bed, and then all of a sudden...
Pokemon Shuffle was the test bed. Because it was they started doing free-to-play stuff on the DS system. So you could go into the store, the eShop on the DS, and get a bunch of like free-to-play games. And then it was almost like they tested it with that, and then they were like, okay, so Pokemon Shuffle's doing really well. We'll release that with in-app purchases as an app. And then they did that, and obviously made money, and people are just like, oh, it's Pokemon, I'll fucking play it. This is basically Pokemon Bejeweled, which is just like, yay! And then you can put it down. I lost myself because I was thinking. I was thinking about Pokemon Shuffle too much.
Miitomo. So that's done really well.
And yeah, because Pokemon Shuffle seemed to do fine, Miitomo was a thing, which is kind of like a simplified version of the Tamagotchi Life game.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
except,
I remember that.
Like, you only play yourself, whereas in Tamagotchi Life, you build people and then give them lives and then get them to... It's basically Sims. But, like, kind of complex Sims with Miis. And Miitomo is, like, a simplified version of that, and it's just gone crazy. Like, everyone loves it. It's
like sort of a mini social networking game.
Yeah, it is kind of.
And you can't add strangers, which I love.
No, they are... including a thing where you can add people from their emails or their phone numbers now.
Oh, are they? Because it used to be you can only add them if you're near them. You had to be near them, or they had to be on your social media. But also, like, I don't know about other people, but I couldn't see everyone that had it on my social media. It would give me, like, a list of 5 people. Yeah. They're like, these people are on your Facebook, and they also play it. And you're like, great, I don't really want to talk to these 4 business contacts that are apparently also playing Miitomo. Yeah. Also, I've added people who... I don't want them to know what type of bread I like. No. I've added people who really don't... Well, they probably know me a bit better now and what my favourite bread is, so... Everyone needs to know what everyone's favourite bread is. Hello there, random people I've added. Hi there, by the way. It's when someone's in your house in Miitomo for ages. You're like, you're here again? Like, we've never spent this much time together in real life, but in Miitomo, fucking besties. God damn it, Rackham. Why are you still in my house? It's been 5 days. It's been 5 days, Rackham. Go home. But yeah, that is the news. Hooray! Are we going to put music? No. Maybe. I don't know. Or just leave this bit in. I'll just leave this bit in. Okay. It'll be fine. It's the first one. Everyone's expecting it to be shit, so it's fine. I certainly am. So, our main talking point this week... It's going to be awesome. Main talking point is Overwatch. Because the beta has been live over this past weekend. Yes. And we really like Overwatch to the point where I'm annoyed. I wanted to hate this game because I remember when it was called Team Fortress 2 and that was amazing. And that was a decade ago as well, think about it. Yeah, it is a bit TF2-y. Very much. But good. Well, TF2's good. Yeah, I know, but... It's like TF2 without the hats. And actually, yeah, better. Because, like, there's so... I mean, mind you, I've not played TF2, so I can't really talk. But, like, there's so many different modes and things. And, like, you're not
you're not massively locked into your role.
Mm.
Except for a few characters, I would say.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of versatility.
But then, there's also the fact that you can just swap out.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, this ain't working, I'm going to be someone else.
Yeah, and you don't even have to wait to die. You can just go back to your spawn point, change character again, which is pretty awesome, because the battle changes constantly, and you'll need different people depending on what the other team has put up. So if they've got some more tanks, you'll need someone who does more damage. Or you'll need someone who's quicker, or if you're trying to capture a point, you'll need someone who's got more health. Or a healer. How about a healer, people?
Like,
we could do with some healers.
Guys. But, so I put a good couple of hours into Overwatch, because when the beta was up, we were like, okay, yeah, give it a go. And I'm like, shit, Blizzard's going to take more of my money. Because I got out, man. I don't do Warcraft anymore. I don't really do Hearthstone anymore. I didn't play Heroes of the Storm outside of beta because I didn't want to spend £10 on a character. And yeah, it was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah.
But
they're really going to... Well, they're not going to take much, it seems, at the moment, because there's not much that they're selling in-game. It looks like they're going to sell...
they'll sell the loot
crates.
boxes.
Not loot crates. Loot crates different.
Loot boxes.
Loot boxes. Lawsuit.
Otherwise you get a t-shirt every time.
A t-shirt and a pop vinyl.
A t-shirt and a pop vinyl. And a badge. So if anyone played the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, the unlocks work in the same way. So you level up, you get given a chest. That chest has 4 items and it's almost randomized. And yeah, you unlock skins that way. You unlock like little spray tags that you can put around the map, which is pretty cute.
Doesn't really do anything.
Doesn't really do anything, but it's nice, and you can like personalize your experience by graffitiing Ilios.
Great map.
It's a really nice map, except for the hole. We fell in the hole a lot. But basically, if you haven't seen Overwatch like at all, it is a first-person shooter. It is much more dynamic than others I've played. Because like I used to play Destiny an awful lot, and like Halo back in the day. Haven't played Halo in a while.
No, it's been a long time.
But yeah, the movement is much faster a lot of the time. KDA, so like your kills, your deaths, and your assists don't really matter all that much.
I don't even know how to find that.
It's really objective based. They don't even really give it to you on your close screen.
No.
Because they'll say, oh, you had this many eliminations, and your eliminations include when you've helped other people kill people.
So there's a real push for team play on it.
And the tanks get points for blocking, the healers get points for healing. So you feel that like your numbers are still very valid, because I normally play like a heal class or a tank class, so when it comes down to like, oh, you're not putting out that much damage, I'm like, well, of course not, that's not my job. It's nice to be able to see numbers and being like, yes, you are doing good at your job, because look, you did gold in your career.
Yeah.
And also it only tests it against yourself, which I like.
Yeah, it's not comparing you to everyone else in your team. It's like...
Yeah, it's kind of like your career average of deaths is 7. And you only died 3 times in this match, so you're doing really well. And you're just like, thanks, game.
It's a lot of positive reinforcement.
Yeah, it kind of is, because like it doesn't go like, well, you did a bit shit, didn't you? It's just like, oh, well, your career average is this, so, you know, it's fine.
I think it's the first game I've been a bit excited about in quite a while.
Yeah, I haven't been waiting
interest.
For release for something in a while.
And I tried the beta, the open beta, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. So I bought the collector's edition.
It's like, whoops, I slipped, and Amazon.
And Amazon, yeah, so... yeah, Blizzard's gonna take my money.
Blizzard's gonna take your money, but
just this once.
But if you're good and you don't buy in-game currency, then they're not gonna take any more of your money.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see how that goes.
You'll probably be able to buy in-game currency.
We'll keep you updated here.
Or at least just the chests, if they... It's interesting because like it's a new IP for Blizzard and a new system. Like, it's entirely multiplayer.
It's not a MOBA. A lot of people seem to think it's a MOBA, and I don't know why.
It is weird because, like, it's an FPS. It's like, you play it the exact same as you would, like, Destiny, or, like... What I like is that there's different modes to it. Because in a MOBA, you're always trying to get into the other player's base, basically.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's like, it's objective focused. So every match per se has like 2 or 3 rounds. And the first round, you'll be attacking the other team's points. And you'll try and take the points. And then, regardless of whether you win or lose, the next round, you're swapped over. So then you're the defending team and you have to defend the points from the attacking team. Which is super cool, because like I've not really played a style of shooter that does things like that.
It's a bit different. Again, it's Team Fortress kind of does that, but this almost does it better. It's got more appeal, I think. It's Team Fortress 2 always seemed to be a bit cliquey, but this one is really quite open, and the way it does everything on that, it's just really quite fun.
And then there's like modes where you have to escort a moving vehicle.
Yeah, point-to-point defense.
Yeah, point-to-point defense. So then one round you'll be the escorting team, and another round you'll be the team trying to stop the escorting team. And yeah, it's super interesting because I think it's really accessible for people that don't really play FPS and things that often.
It's an arena shooter more than anything else, so it's all very, you won't go far without running into someone. You won't get bored, and there's not really, well, arguably there is, but there's not a lot of room for being shot without knowing who shot you.
Yeah, I mean, it's relatively balanced, I would say. It's the most balanced I have seen something pre-launch.
Yeah, definitely. And apparently this is what we're going to get in the full game.
And it's more just the fact that they're not necessarily our balance issues. Let's talk about Bastion.
Oh, let's not.
But it's an aspect of a gameplay of a character that en masse people figured out a shitty way of playing him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of just like, oh, okay, well, it's not really a numbers problem or a mechanics problem, it's a people are dicks problem. And Blizzard they patched the beta to try and fix that.
Well, that's what the beta's for, I guess.
Which was kind of like, oh, okay, you're acting pretty quick on it. You're not just being like, well, fuck you guys, we'll fix it for launch.
Yeah.
They patched it to get another day or 2 out of it.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty nice. Which bodes well for like maintenance later down the line.
I hope so. I mean, even if they keep it initially down to this relatively small pool of characters, if they fix everything before it comes out, or a lot of the things, then everyone's going to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's just going to be nice. But Bastion is still hacks.
Yeah, I mean, also, if you're worried about communities, the shooter communities are always a bit cack. I mean, I got called a beta.
We got called beta fags.
Yeah, we got called beta fags on like the first night that we were playing, and it's like, honey, this is the first day the beta is open, and like,
unless they paid for the closed beta, in which case that's fine. But
also, you're still a beta person if you've paid. Like, that wasn't an alpha; it was still a beta, and yeah, it was just weird. And every now and again, you'll come across a person, and you'll just be like, really.
However, the reporting system is really robust.
It is. It's really similar to the Xbox Live system.
Because you can...
you can just avoid someone, block someone, or report them entirely.
Or do all three.
But also, a lot of that will drop off as soon as people have to actually pay for it.
That's the whole thing. Anyway. That generally happens.
I think so. Because it's not a AAA price by any means, but it's not cheap.
No.
It's still what I like to call Blizzard pricing. Which is like, we can put a price on it because we know you'll buy it. And you just be like, you've got a point, Blizzard.
But they've made a really good game.
You have a point. But yeah, they have made a really good game.
They've made an amazing game, and I don't care that it hasn't got a single-player campaign.
And the animation's really nice.
Yeah, it looks
all
like a Pixar
of the animation
movie.
Is super good. Like, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of The Incredibles.
A little bit, yeah. Like, the animation is beautiful, and the terrain's very interactable, and just, yeah, I like it.
It's not destructible terrain, though.
No.
Which is kind of good for the size of the maps you get.
Well, also, if you manage to blow a hole in something, it would screw the wall runners over.
True, yeah.
Because, like, only specific characters can climb terrain, and only specific characters can sprint, and stuff like that. It's all the characters I really like. They're quite racially diverse, which is great.
Yeah, they are. Actually,
The male to female ratio is massively improved. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's massively improved.
Yeah.
Over what is standard.
Yeah. It's got Matt Mercer. And
then the body type ratio, I would say, is quite varied as well.
This actually helps with gameplay a lot, because if you've got a standard shooter like any of your Battlefield or COD games and you're playing multiplayer, it's really hard to know what you're going up against without being really close.
Yeah.
If you've got this diverse range of body types, you can tell just by looking from distance exactly what that person's going to be doing.
Yeah, even if it's like there's a sniper character which will give you vision of the enemy team. So you just see them as silhouettes.
Yeah.
Through the terrain.
And you can see exactly
you can be like, oh, okay, that's a really big one, so I know that's probably so-and-so or so-and-so. So I'm not going to run around that corner.
And I think we already know what everyone looks like.
Yeah, I mean, the characters are really, really identifiable.
Yeah.
You'll look at someone and be like, oh, no, I'm staying over here.
Which, again, another really good design choice, really.
And one thing is, it is always high noon.
It's always high noon somewhere.
It is always high noon and over. If you ever get to play and there's a McCree on either your team or the enemy team, it is always high noon. Sure. But yeah, enough rambling about that one. Basically, it's a really good game.
Yeah.
I apologise that this will come out after the beta. But if you have trust in Blizzard, I do suggest that you get it, because it's really fun.
Same.
If you don't, I suggest you find a friend or watch a Let's Play, or Brown Man's done some good streams on it, which are now on his YouTube channel.
Good job. He's done some really good ones as well.
Yeah, like he plays a lot of different characters, so you get a much broader sense of the game as opposed to someone just playing Tracer 24/7.
That would be pants. I have seen a channel that's done that, and I'm not going to name them.
Oh, well. Anyway. Yeah, so
totally
go for it, basically. Have a go somehow, or look into it somehow if you do enjoy the idea of shooters, or something a bit more lighthearted. It's not as heavy as the military style ones.
I haven't become infuriated with it at all either.
No, like
I
haven't.
Just really quite pleasant.
I haven't like rage quit from getting shot in the head by 12-year-olds too much.
No.
And you just be there like, why am I dead?
Oh, I'm dead again. Right, I know why. I'll do it different next time.
I'm dead again. Oh, yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Or if you do what I do with the giant robot and just fly off the map. Because I was like, oh, ran out of jet. Whoops. Goodbye forever.
But I've never got to a place in it where I'm like, I'm dying and I don't know why, and it's not table flip.
Yeah, but I mean, you know it's your gameplay over like hacks.
Yeah.
But anywho, that is our main talking point. We do heavily recommend Overwatch.
Good job, Blizzard. Good job.
Woo!
What's next? This is the bit I'm excited about.
The bit that you're excited about that I wouldn't tell you about is what's out this week.
What is out this week?
So this is me judging from the day this podcast comes out to the next day a podcast will come out.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So what is out this week? On the 10th of May, we have Uncharted 4: A Thief's End on the PS4. We have The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth on the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Good job.
That's been out on PC a little while, if I recall.
I was going to say, I thought that's been out for a while.
Well, Binding of Isaac hit the consoles much later, and if I remember rightly, Afterbirth is like, it's not a DLC per se.
Is it like an Ultimate Edition type of thing?
Kind of. I should have looked into it really. But
that's out. If you want
but yeah,
you should have a look.
If you like Binding of Isaac, it is now. But Afterbirth will be out on the two big. Well, I'll say the two big consoles. The two consoles that get a lot of attention. The PS4 and the Xbox One. Obviously, Uncharted is PS4 exclusive. On the 13th of May, Doom.
A shooter.
Doom.
We did need another shooter.
So Doom is coming out on fucking everything. Xbox One, PS4 and PC, not on the Wii U, unfortunately, because Nintendo was like, you know what, mate, nah.
Is it not hitting their core demographic?
No, I don't.
Everyone.
But on the same day as Doom,
on the same day, right?
On the 3DS.
3DS, okay.
Disney Art Academy.
Yay!
The Art Academy games are really good.
Yay!
No, seriously.
Okay.
Like, the Art Academy games are really good.
Also, that's a big title.
That they got a Disney license,
That's
which
good.
is a little bit nuts.
Good job.
The Pokemon Art Academy game is fantastic, so I do have quite high hopes for the Disney one.
I didn't know that was coming out.
Yes, on May 13th.
That's a good one.
On May 17th, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered on the PS4.
Valkyria Chronicles Remastered?
Yes.
Hasn't that already been on PC?
Possibly. But it's now on PS4.
It's now on PS4.
So if you like Valkyria Chronicles,
I
the
do.
original game is getting remastered for PS4 graphics. I'm not sure how they're upscaling and whether it's going to have a full DLC list content with it. I would assume so.
I know the PC version that I got now runs at 60 frames per second, which is pretty good because it didn't used to when it originally came out.
So I mean,
it came with all the DLC.
Well, I would assume the PS4 edition would do
I think
the
it's
same.
going to be probably similar.
If
least.
not, then punch them in the face.
But yeah.
But yeah, that is what is out until our next podcast is out as well. I will update you every week on games that I find. Basically, I pick what I see as the big uns off the list. If you do want to know about every game that's coming out in the week, including indie, then just let me know and I'll make the list bigger. If not, then just deal with what I throw at you. Hooray!
Yeah, let us know.
Talk in the comments below.
Talk in the comments and we'll answer all of your questions.
Thumbs up, subscribe, etc.
Please.
Please. Please love me. But yeah, basically, so that is episode 1 of Button Smash. We hope you enjoyed.
That was a lot longer than I expected.
It was a lot longer than I expected. You did talk about Battlefield 1 for a very long time.
I'm very excited. I love Zeppelins.
Love Zeppelins, Horse Zeppelins, and Overwatch. Everything.
Everything is good this week.
So you can find us on YouTube, on our Team Effort YouTube channel, which is a small group of us, mainly me and Matto, putting out content.
That is me.
That is you. I am on Twitter as Kitten Stitch. Are you on Twitter?
I am also on Twitter.
Yeah.
At always_dignity.
Always_dignity. Oh, fuck, I can't talk now.
Always_dignity.
Always. And I think that's that's all of our social medias anyway. We are lovingly kind of hosted via the Lost Lighthouse. And Lost Lighthouse is the lostlighthouse.com, all one word. And they are on Instagram and Twitter as Lost_Lighthouse. I believe. Those guys out. They've also got podcasts running. They focus on like geekdom as a whole. On the Weekly Rapture, got D&D podcast and Age of Sigmar as well. Pretty much everything, and there's quite a lot of articles as well. I post a lot of stuff on there myself. She says, not as much as Adam. Adam gets kind of hosted via the Lost Lighthouse, and Lost Lighthouse is the lostlighthouse.com, all one word. And they are on Instagram and Twitter as Lost_Lighthouse, I believe. Those guys out. They've also got podcasts running. They focus on like geekdom as a whole. On the Weekly Rapture, got D&D podcast and Age of Sigmar as well. Pretty much everything, and there's quite a lot of articles as well. I post a lot of stuff on there myself. She says. Not as much as Adam. Adam does so much.
Adam is mental for posting stuff.
And doing a PhD. He's insane.
He's got some kind of... I was going to say consumption. That's not right. Compulsion. That's
there we go. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Consumption's the coughing one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
Although, yeah, the PhD is giving him consumption, I'm afraid. Most definitely. But cool. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy, and we will see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.